What's up guys, welcome to the video. Today I have Dean with me and he came third at a store prelims today. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, what did you play?
So I played Shenron Gogeta. I used to play it back when it first came around with the meta, sort of like when we went around and I took it to Manchester. I feel now that like it's a really good meta call with like objection in and just going off on turn 4, and then obviously for me the MVP being the Super Dragon Ball just makes the deck just completely go OD by turn 4.
Alright, great, yeah, let's have a look at your build.
Okay, so we've obviously got the Shenron leader. We're going to go down first with one Super Dragon Ball and then 6 normal Dragon Balls. I did actually start originally playing it when I was doing it. I didn't agree with the Super Dragon Ball and I went with the 1-star ball. It was only after I started learning how about you can just like loop the Super Dragon Balls for like stupid amounts of draw cards, like turn 3 or turn 4 when you wait to get some of your pieces, you can just get this for 4, bring out Shenron, World Peace, untap 2, Dragon Radar, get Super Dragon Ball, you've just ditched 4 key pieces in the grave that you need and you've just drew 8 cards. It's a pretty crazy in the format, to be honest.
Yes. And
then next one would be the 2 Dragon Radar. A lot of people like running 3. Nobody really runs the max amount in Shenron Gogeta. I agree with the like not running the max amount. I don't like 3 because I feel like it clogs up. I mean, you run as many like 20 to 25 extra cards anyway, so I don't really want it to clog up too much in my hand when you really want combo power when you're going in, if you're against a deck which just has a stupidly large hand. So just 2 with the Dragon Radar. And then I went with the 3 World Peace. I probably changed this to I think 2 in the main deck and just put 1 in the side. The only problem I had with this is that you see it way too much, so I think 3 is just, it goes a little bit too much, like you're only really using it once. I did actually use it a couple of times today when I had to World Peace out like Vegeta's, the 5-drop Gogeta, and for 2 games today to end up winning was to World Peace out a Gogeta on ramping up to 7. That was more just because of like the bricking on my part. I didn't have all the pieces by like turn 4 to sort of go off.
yeah.
So next one, objection. Nothing really to say about objection. Your main ramp card. You need 4 of this. I've seen people try and do 3 and they say that like 3 is fine. I've bricked and I've had 4 of this, so I'll never change this. It'll always be 4, just max consistency. 3 Senzu Bean. If there was another card maybe that I think I could add in the deck, maybe like main board Mutaito. I might actually take one of the beans out because I ran the 3.
Wow, okay.
Pretty much 90% of the games was pretty much for charge fodder. I only used it once when I was on 3 when I had an attacker on board, because most of the time you just have Shenron or Pronga. If you have a Vegeta on board, sometimes when it comes to games like that, if you don't have the Gogeta, you can obviously then just attack and just use the bean to restand for more defense or to retap from 3 off the Gogeta to 4, so you can just hardcast a World Peace or hardcast a Shenron and then get a free draw and then get 2 energy just for defense. But 3 is fine. I think 3 is fine to stick with. I went with the 4 Weesis Coercions. I wouldn't change this. I started playing like 3, but I think the Weesis Coercion is just too good on the blue energy, where you've got the 1 blue energy, you can use like a bean to untap for defense. You've got your Power Bursts and your Nimbus if you've got the yellow in charge, and then the Whis just sort of like the last few attacks that try and go off you, you know, you're living off 1 energy, so it's perfect at 4.
Yep. And
then the 2 Power Burst, I wouldn't change this ratio. I think this ratio is absolutely perfect. I think 2 is what you want. You don't want more black in the deck. It's fine when you're using it for like Dragon Radar and World Peace and stuff like that when you're hard casting for black, but I only like having like 1 black energy, and I just want to sort of like mitigate the amount of black that's in the deck. I think the Sparking's really good, so I only use it twice, but I don't really want to be touching my life too much. Like I want to let the opponent sort of do that, burn their cards to combo, thinking I want to get out combo, and sort of go down to 3-4 life fine, and then this is just for backup really. And then the 3 Flying Nimbus, I think 3 again, perfect number. I wouldn't run it as 4 like with Weesis Coercion. I think 3 is fine. You've got the Flying Nimbus, you've got the Gokus that are the target for a yellow. You can side in more later on when we go into the sideboard for some more yellow. I think 3 is the absolute perfect number. It's an absolute godsend in this format. Any deck that can run Flying Nimbus, you pretty much run Flying Nimbus, or you're not really going to get very far. And then just the 4 super combos, obviously the Trunks, nothing really to go into there, just your basic ones. I mainboard the 1 Crisis Crusher. You draw so much in this deck. I wanted it just for like mainly the skillless matchup. I just wanted the 1 because in a couple of my skillless games today, I actually won game 1 just because I drew into this, and they're thinking, oh, literally every Shenron Gogeta player never main boards are Crisis Crusher, most of the ones like in EU that I've played against. So running the 1 can really get them off. It can win you the game 1, like sort of like guaranteed when you bring it out. They really can't do anything. I've got so many negates that I can just sort of like negate the leader attack to sort of combo off the combo off the Goku to sort of pop the Crisis Crusher. And most of the time when they've got an Android and a Son Goku, I'd use this to pop. So I pop the Goku, he'd pop it with the Android, this goes to the drop. I've usually got a Shenron, draw 1, untap 2, play another Crisis Crusher from hand after I've sided it in, and then pop the Android in and do it that way. And then you've still got a 5k combo on board.
Cool.
So I've got the 2 Porunga. I think in this format, I think you need to run 2 Porunga. It's great against skillless matchups. They try and swarm the board and go wide. You bring up Porunga, you pick just like an Android, and then you just switch it to rest, and you just send everything back to the deck. It's great. Sometimes this can just win your matchups alone. And in slower matchups or the Shenji mirror match, you get this out when your opponent does, and you just get a free +2 every turn. It's a pretty ridiculous card. I used to play it back when the deck first came out. It was good then, but now it's an absolute must. I think at least 2 you need, maybe 3, but I think 2 is the perfect number. And then 2 with the Shenron. I don't really want to take anything out for a 3rd one, but there was games where I actually missed the 4-drop Shenron about 2 or 3 times today. So I might maybe take something out, maybe a World Peace or maybe one of the Porungas and just put it in the side. But 2's fine, most of the time you see it. It's just for if you want sort of the assurances to try and guarantee it for obviously the crit when you're going in for like the OTK. And then for the Gogeta package, it's 4 of the yellow Goku. This is just how you put yellow in the deck. You don't really want to be playing the blue one. We're not playing mono blue, so you have access to the Flying Nimbus. 4's perfect. I tried 5 in testing, and you can't really fiddle about too much with the deck. I fiddled it around a couple of weeks ago, and I was just bricking, and it just wasn't doing great. But as today, when I've come with this list, it's absolutely perfect. I think it's a great way to go. And then obviously, the 4 at all cost Vegeta. This is just pretty much like one of the MVPs in the deck. I think Super Dragon Ball is what makes the deck like go really OD, and I think he's probably the best card in the deck because of how much you can spam it with the 8 draws. At all cost Vegeta is just like the 2nd to 3rd option for winning the game. If you can't see Gogeta, or even sometimes it's good because you can pick the 2 life, extra combos or extra negates, so you can attack and then go past the next turn. You're going to get to your next turn because you've got negates in hand and you've drawn 2, so you've got more chances of drawing it out. The staple, you wouldn't change it from 4. The 2 Gogetas as well, I played this a lot. This actually won me quite a few matches. I think it won me as much as the 7-drop Gogeta.
Right, okay.
It's so good with the returning because they just have big bodies on board, or they pay so much energy, like skillless, to bring these cards out on board, and they attack and they leave some stuff standing for combo power after you do the reset. But you just do this, you trick them out, you pay 4, or you World Peace it out when you've ramped up to 5. You get a +2, you get the 2 return to the deck. You get a Shenron on board, you give it crit. It's going for 6 damage crit. It's going for 40k with the Ultimate Wish. I've done that a couple of times and it's just great. I wouldn't change it from 2. I think 2 is the absolute perfect number. And then the tried and trusted 7-drop. I think it's a top 5 card in the format, maybe top 3. It's really, really good. Been playing with it pretty much ever since it came out. It's still an amazing, amazing card. The barrier deflect's crazy. You basically need to get the Mutaito on it. And most of the time it will just be, you play game 1, you race to your Gogeta when I was lucky enough to win my dice rolls to go first, which is a big plus. You bring it out, you can do all your Ultimate Wish shenanigans, goes to game 2. Loads of people would side in the Mutaito for me, but all I would do is just side in some of my sideboard for the minus Killy Zone, play the minus Killy Zone, you've got plenty in the drop, and then very much you bring the Gogeta, and it's pretty much just a handshake, just a GG after you do it. And yep, that's pretty much the main board. So,
and the side deck.
Yep, and for the side deck, we run 2 Mifuba. I never had to use it. It's more because I don't have striving to be the best Son Goku. I never really had to lead it in. It's probably going to go out for striving to be the best whenever I end up picking some more.
Sure.
Minus Killy Zone, MVP. You play this when your opponent's thinking they've got you on game 2. They've got, as I said, like Mutaito or answers. You pretty much just play minus Killy Zone, and it is pretty much just a handshake. Like they just can't do anything about it. It's a pretty nutty card with this deck. The Bad Ring Laser. I think the Bad Ring Laser's really good, to be honest.
Would you consider mainboarding it? Because you've only got Nimbus really.
Yeah, I did only have Nimbus for it. The thing was, is that I used to do one in the mainboard, and used to do one in the sideboard. The problem I found with Bad Ring Laser is that most game ones you can actually win without Bad Ring Laser. The only matchup it really would have helped me with today, because most of the time I see it when I really need it, because you draw, by turn 4 or 5 you've got about 8 cards left in deck if that. Would be mainboarding one and sideboarding one for the Dende Freezer matchup. I pretty much had like no in real life experience against it, and you pretty much need to Bad Ring Laser the time magic, like so. Because of only having the one, I hit it, did the time magic, went for 3, he was on 2 life, swung with the last attack, he then just used the time magic again, because I only had the one Bad Ring Laser, that was just, that was the match pretty much silver. 2 Mutaito, just a proxy there just because I've had to give it back to my friend. So yeah, basically just with the Mutaito, it only really comes up in the mirror match for me, or when they really summon like big boss monsters like a Demigorgon with Skillless or anything like that. I think 1's enough. You draw so much with the deck, honestly 1's enough. I wouldn't run 2, I'd just run 2 Bad Ring Laser for a Dende Freezer matchup, or just to guarantee wins when you ramp up to 6. Play 5 for the Gogeta, you've got your yellow spare, and it's just Bad Ring for the game pretty much. 2 of the Bulmers, literally just for the Janemba matchup. Didn't end up playing against any Janemba today, but I'm going to keep it in pretty much for the Janemba matchup. I still think it's a great card for that. 2 Crisis Crushers, 1 in the main and then side in the 3, mainly skillless. You play this against skillless, literally no skillless was beating me. It's too good when you get the 1 out on the board. They find a way to remove it. Your board's clean pretty much until like turn 3/4. So it's fine, I think 2's fine, side it in for 3, I think that was the perfect ratio for me. 2 of the towels, just for hand destruction. Luckily enough, I didn't have to play hand destruction. There was somebody by the side of me for my last 2 games who was playing it.
Yeah, a couple of slugs here.
Yeah, I managed to avoid it. This card, obviously, you need it to go against slug. I'd maybe consider bumping it up, because I think you do need more than 2, but I put it in just on the off chance I went against slug, and luckily enough I didn't have to go against it. And then just the 2 Chronoas. Again, this basically won me game 1 against a Broly Vegito package. You just play time control Chronoa, you win game 1. Luckily enough that he bricked, and then game 2 you just side in the Chronoa, managed to get it off turn 1. All the Shigeshi shenanigans go out the way. They can't pop anything on your board like your Shenrons, and you just basically go for game and they just can't do anything about it. And yep, that's basically the main board, and then that'll be the side deck.
Yeah, so what did you play against today?
Okay, so it was skillless, it was... Oh no, it was Broly Vegito package first, it was skillless second, it was skillless third I think, and then it was Dende Freezer fourth, which I lost to, so I was 3-1, and then skillless in top table to get 4-1.
Okay, a lot of skillless then.
Yeah, a lot of skillless.
What would you say your worst matchup is?
With this matchup, I felt like I got a lot of experience with the mirror match. As my friend Anthony was saying, the Dende Freezer match since I had no experience, it's pretty much a 50-50. You need to get the Bad Ring Lasers to sort of win the matchup because the deck's so consistent. Yours is as consistent, but they just keep searching for your hand so much with all the Freezer cards that they're just ripping out all your key pieces or playing out your Gokus. You only run 4 of each, so you pretty much have to like ramp up to get the Gogeta out. That matchup's really hard, which is why I probably get more of the Bad Ring Lasers in. But apart from that, I felt comfortable against anything, although I haven't really played against any slug, but that's what probably the towels would be for. But apart from that, I felt it was, it was pretty good all the way through.
Alright, good stuff. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And I'll see you in the finals in Tottington.
In Tottington. See you guys.